Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here at Davisville and Spectrum Alternative Public Schools. I'd like to welcome Ontario's new Associate Minister of Education, Indira Naidoo-Harris, to our school. We are so pleased to have you here. I know it means a lot to our community, so we really appreciate it. I would also like to welcome Ward 11 Trustee Shelley Laskin, who has been a strong and passionate voice for our Davisville public community, as well as City Councillor Josh Matlow, also a passionate voice for our community, and Superintendent Allison, who did have to leave us, but we do thank him for being here. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Trustee Shelley Laskin to say a few words.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say we have to stop meeting like this, but I love when we're meeting like this. It's a pleasure to be with you all here at Davisville Spectrum. I'd like to thank Principal Farley Shona for hosting this morning's event. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Toronto District School Board, I would like to welcome Associate Minister of Education Indira Naidoo-Harris to the Toronto District School Board for what is an important announcement for our community and others across the province. Davisville Public School has been around for more than 150 years, but the building you see here was built in the early 60s. Fast forward to today, and the school is bursting at the seams and bursting in other ways, roofs and boilers, but we're not going to talk about that today. We've actually run out of room, and that's why, thanks to capital funding already announced by the province, we're moving ahead with the design and construction of a brand new school on the site, and the first public meeting about it is actually in a few weeks on September 20th. And thanks to City Councillor Josh Matlow and the tireless efforts of many involved in the Midtown Hub, City Council passed a motion at its July meeting that secured additional funding for the TDSB to construct a 3-story replacement school that will create a smaller footprint and therefore allow room for the city to actually construct a city-owned and operated aquatic and community recreation facility on the site. And it goes without saying, we're beyond excited to see these state-of-the-art facilities come to life for the students and the communities so they can learn and enjoy and play here for years to come. Childcare is an important aspect in any community. It too will play an important role in this project. And that's why I'm happy to announce Associate Minister of Education Indira Naidoo-Harris for more on today's important announcement. Associate Minister.
Oops. It's a little uneven on here. Thank you, Shelley, for that lovely introduction, and good morning, everyone. You know, I cannot tell you how pleased I am to be here this morning. It's such a beautiful morning, but also it was so lovely to be able to spend some time inside with the young ones and to spend some time getting to know some of our young and early learners. Absolutely fantastic. I want to start out by thanking Principal Farley for having us here today, and of course Trustee Laskin and Councillor Josh Matlow, who I know and have known for years, and also Superintendent Allison. It's unfortunate that he had to leave, but it was great to see him earlier today. A big thank you, of course, has to go to the staff and the teachers who are here today. Those teachers and that staff that keep places like this running, who are those smiling faces and those helping hands for our little ones when they are, leaving home and heading off on a little adventure. And it's those people, our teachers and our staff, that really make our children feel safe, supported, and happy every day. So a big thank you to the teachers and staff here for their hard work, their commitment, and their dedication. And please, Principal Farley, please pass on my wishes to them, because their job is without a doubt really one of the most vital jobs we have in our province and in our society. And I want to make sure that they realize how much we appreciate their work. You know, it's vital, absolutely vital, that we set our children on an early path to success. By creating a happy, supportive, and safe learning environment for our little ones, we are not only setting them on a path to a better, brighter future, but we are also creating a stronger future for all of us. That's why our government is committed to building high-quality, affordable childcare and early years system. You know, this is a special day. It's special because, first of all, this is my first announcement as Associate Minister of Education. But it's also special for many Ontario families because as of today, licensed childcare centres and home care agencies in Ontario will no longer be allowed to charge waitlist fees or require deposits to join waitlists. This is great news. It's great news for parents and great news for kids, because what this means is that parents can now have better access to childcare. Access that doesn't mean having to worry about whether or not they have enough money to pay for that waitlist fee. It also means that there is now a simpler and more equitable process, and that's key. That's what this is all about, is creating affordable and accessible childcare. So it's a win, really, for all of us. In addition, childcare centers and childcare agencies are now required to have public waitlist policy that clearly defines and explains how children on a waitlist are offered admission. That means that the system will now be more transparent. Parents will know what the route is, and parents will know what the expectations are. And the waitlist status must be made available to families in a manner that protects, of course, their confidentiality and their personal information. These rules and requirements, which have taken effect as of today, deliver on our promise to make life easier for parents who were frustrated by costly fees. But our government, I can tell you, is committed to doing even more, and I know I am committed to doing even more. What we want to do is to help families seeking licensed childcare and help them find it more easily. That means making licensed childcare easier to access and more readily available. So, it is my pleasure today to announce that we are providing $4 million in new funding for 11 new childcare rooms and 174 new childcare spaces in Toronto. Thank you. What that means is that $2.6 million of that funding will be invested right here at Davisville Junior Public School. And with this funding, Davisville will add 5 new licensed childcare rooms, 62 new spaces for infants and toddlers and preschoolers, and be able to continue to deliver high-quality licensed childcare to more Toronto families. This investment will give more children the opportunity to transition from childcare into full-day kindergarten within the same school. And it's going to make life easier. It's going to make life easier and convenient for families and also for kids. I know families want better access, more choices, and greater convenience to licensed childcare. So, I am pleased to announce today that families across Ontario will also be benefiting from new licensed childcare rooms in schools. In the coming weeks, we are investing $23 million to build 35 new licensed childcare rooms, resulting in 610 new spaces in the province. Yeah, that's definitely great news. We've heard from parents. They told us they want more childcare spaces. They want more access, and this investment promises to do that. It's going to help many Ontario families. So included in this investment are 19 additional rooms to support child and family support programs across Ontario. This will translate into offering parents, children, and caregivers enriching early learning experiences, programs on topics like child development and parenting, drop-ins for kids and their families and caregivers so they can connect with friends and neighbors in their community, and information and referral services to valuable and vital community services. As you can tell, what we are really talking about is actually evolving the childcare system and evolving the school space into a community hub. One that benefits kids, benefits parents, and benefits the entire neighborhood as a whole. We're creating a space that people can come to in order to get their needs services. Community hubs offer coordinated services such as childcare, education, healthcare, and social services. And today's investments will help communities across the province get more value out of their local schools, by providing greater variety of services in a convenient and accessible way. This is all part of our promise to students and to parents that Ontario will continue to develop a world-class childcare and early years system. And that's something that I want you all to know I am deeply committed to. This is an idea whose time has come. And this is an idea that the Premier is completely behind, and it is her vision that is driving this forward. This is about matching our world-class publicly funded education system with a world-class childcare system. So today's announcement of more licensed childcare spaces in Toronto and across the province and more facilities and child and family support programs is good news. It shows that we are acting on our promise to build a childcare system that better services Ontarians, for our children, for our families, and for our province, and ultimately for all of our futures. Thank you so much for having me here today. So, I would now like to open it up to the media, and if any of you have any questions about what the announcement was today, happy to take your questions. I believe it is. I believe it is part of the 120 million. I can get a little more direction on that, but yes, it is. And what this means essentially is it's translated into 23 million now across the province. 23 million building 35 new licensed childcare rooms, and that really is 610 new spaces. So that's a lot of spaces, and that's a lot of room for our kids. So we're about 3,600 spaces along, and we've spent, I believe, about, let me just double check, 113 million. I can get you more information on that, but I do not believe it includes the 600, but I can get you that information. So I don't know about the wait list. There are certainly people here who can tell us about the wait list and what they have in terms of their individual care centers and so on. What I can tell you is this. This is really a strong step forward to ensuring that we are creating more spaces in this province and in this city. We know that there's a demand for this. We know that this is something that families have been waiting for. And I think 610 new spaces for kids, kids who and families who want to be able to get their children into safe, affordable, and healthy environments are going to be really thrilled about this announcement today, and that's what we're doing. We're taking that step forward. That translates into, in this city alone, 174 new spaces. So amazing. I think that's really good news. And right here in Davisville, which is where we are, 62 new spaces. That will make a big difference. All you have to do is look around this neighborhood and look at this community and think about 62 new faces in this place, and what a difference that will be, and what a great assistance and support that will be for families in this community. So the additional money in terms of what's going in Toronto is going to a number of different places. What I can tell you is I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing the, for example, Dante Alighieri Academy will be receiving 1.5 million. So they're getting 1.5 million to build 6 new licensed childcare rooms, and that's going to open up 112 new spaces there. Yes, I believe it is those 2 schools. So a lot of work is happening behind the scenes on the new early learning childcare framework. These are exciting times, absolutely, right? And the federal government's commitment to developing that childcare framework is key, I think, in terms of the vision that the Premier has for this province, but also I think that the Prime Minister has for the country. And I think it is setting us on a path to really ensure that as a province and as a nation, we're doing the best we can to build a solid framework for our children so that that they can have that foundation in the years to come. What I can tell you is that I'm very excited about working with our federal partners in developing that framework. There are some FPT meetings coming up in the next little while, and I will, of course, be participating in that. These are early days for me in this role, but I've had a number of briefings already, and excited. This is an energetic time, and I want to make sure that as you all stand here today and listen to this announcement, that you don't lose sight of what we are really doing. We are transforming childcare and the way it is delivered in this province. What we are trying to do is really bring a new lens to what we know is an area and a focus that needs attention. Parents have told us that, educators have told us that, early childhood educators have told us that, and our community leaders have told us that. And we've been listening and recognizing it. And I think, it speaks volumes about our Premier, who not only recognized it, but made sure that she put someone in place to undertake this journey and to do the best that we could to bring all the pieces together so that we could actually deliver high quality, affordable, accessible childcare system in this province, build the framework, set the foundation, because ultimately in the end, it's creating an environment that will be safe and healthy and allow our children to thrive. And when our children thrive, we all thrive, right? In the end, I'm a parent. I'm sure there are many other parents who are here. This is also about giving parents peace of mind. Parents do want to head to work. These are the realities of the world we live in. There are challenges out there. Parents need to be able to be productive in our society, and they want to be, all of them. And so this gives parents an opportunity for choice. If they choose to stay at home, of course, that's a choice they can always make, and that really rests with the individual. But ultimately, in the end, if they want to be able to have that choice to head off to work, they can really do this. And this is allowing them that freedom and that accessibility. And I am so pleased and thrilled to be working on this portfolio. Anyone else? I'm sorry? Oh, I think Ontario will be playing a key part in these talks. I'm sure a lot of the provinces are going to be arriving wanting to play a key a role in these talks. But I can tell you, with our Premier putting me in place and putting a specific lens on childcare in this province and promising to work hard to deliver the framework and the foundation that we need to deliver affordable and accessible childcare in this province, I think the Premier is sending a signal out not just to Ontarians, but really to Canadians, saying that Ontario is here, we're ready to take on this challenge, and we're going to do our best to make sure that it works. And I think that's a win for all of us, because ultimately in the end, this province has been a leader on many different fronts, and we will continue to be a leader, and we're hoping to be a leader in this space. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I still can't hear you, sorry. Yeah, I think I do have some young ones up there. Hi.
I was wondering if Ontario
So, it depends on what you mean by universal childcare. There's certainly different definitions across the board, and we need to look very specifically at what you're talking about. I can certainly tell you that the Premier is committed to creating a childcare system here that will be accessible for most Ontarians, if not all Ontarians, and that's the plan that she wants to try to put in motion. How long that takes, and what the realities are and the details are, we will be working on in the next few years, but we are going to be working hard to deliver the best we can. That's a very good question. I will have someone from my team get back to you on that, but I think we recognize that, of course, this is something that parents need as quickly as possible, and we will be working hard to work with our partners, schools like Davisville and others in Toronto and around the province to help them meet the requirements and the expectations of parents out there. Oh, okay. This is the last question. Absolutely. I've had children who've gone through the school system. I have a teenager. These are challenging times for our young people. And I can tell you, having gone through the system myself, as all of you have, Math today is not what it used to be. You know, our jobs as community leaders, as educators, and as parents is about preparing our children to be able to meet the demands of the society they live in. And so our children are really facing, I think, new challenges when it comes to the kind of math that they have to be on top of. And so we recognize that we have to give them the tools. We're putting the tools in place. I'm sure you're aware that there is a new strategy that's going to be rolled out in the fall. That's what it's all about. It's about making sure that we're equipping our children in the best way we can. This is definitely something that I know the Minister of Education and certainly the Premier and other community leaders and educators are focusing on. We're trying to figure out ways that we can better help our children, and that's what we plan to do, and that's what we're doing. No, I don't think, personally, I don't think there's an attitude problem about any specific subject, right? I have kids who have excelled in various programs and various subjects, and, you know, it's some excel at some have to work at others a little more. You really don't know what kind of skills or talents your kids bring to the table, but our job as educators and as leaders is to ensure that we give them the best possible foundation for success. That's what we're trying to do in this province, and that's why we are leading the way when it comes to our public education system. That's why people are coming to us from around the world to see what we're doing here. That's why we have increased our the number of students graduating out of high school. Now, up from 63% when we came into office to 85.5%, I believe, on average across the province. In my own riding, it's even higher. So I know it's higher in other parts of the province. You know, and I want to remind all of you how important that is. You know, close to 90% of the kids who go to high school now are graduating. Think about that. Think about those of us, you know, who know someone years ago who didn't finish high school, who dropped out, who wasn't able to continue on, and how that affected their lives through the years. What we are seeing today is a commitment and also really putting into reality a vision and an idea to give our kids the tools they need to be successful. And we're doing that. We're putting them on that track. We're sending them through school. We're equipping them not just with a high school education, but as you know, making university education more accessible, not just for the wealthy, but for everyone. You know, I cannot think of a better way to try to improve our society than by doing those key things. And that's what this is all about. And that has been the pledge from the beginning, and we're working hard to deliver that. Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here with you all today. I guess we're going to do a picture. Do you want to stand over here? Sure.
Something about selfies that are always kind of fun and joyous. So let's do that. Let's do that first.
Where's the playground?
Come on, as long as I can get my.
Can you get yourself?
Way too tall.
I'm way too short. Thank you. We're going to get a picture of you holding. Okay. All right. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll retweet you.
And well done.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And just so you know, because you're making
All right.
And actually, well,
It can be decided as part of the school.
getting to work right away.
and another feeling of like, you know, doing things for the first time. This must have been a big deal for you personally.
It was
You
wonderful.
did it really well. You looked like confident. The things you like, obviously,
And I love the
perfectly said to get it to you.
and I love the push. We don't